Be Me, 2018. Science teacher. Work at a school in one of the most rural parts of a fairly urban city. Last official event of the year, have the social thing on Saturday night where awards are given and whatnot, runs late. Had some final bullshit admin to deal with, so decide to just stay and do it so I can enjoy my weekend before the 3-day week of nothing. Sit in empty classroom filling out stupid goal sheets and other bullshit for about 45 minutes. Finish up at about 10:30ish, lights out and start heading home. Place is dark and silent, surreal without kids. Get in car, pull out to go home. About to pull onto road when a car goes flying past at like 150 kilometers. It's a straight road, so I just dismiss as the local village idiot out LARPing as a race car driver. Check left to see if any of his mates are following him. Standing under the streetlight at the crossroads about 100 meters away, is a figure about 8 to 10 feet tall, black as the darkness behind it. It's moving in a way that I can only describe as heavy, rapid breathing, as if it's just been sprinting. Its head is emitting an orange light. Fumble for my phone to try get a pic, but it turns and runs back the way it came from. Gone before I could even open the camera. Go home thinking about it but dismiss it as tiredness and a tree branch or something. Had almost forgotten about it till now. Never seen shit like this before or again. B15. In hills near my house, foothills of San Bernardino Mountains in Southern California, no woods. With buddy. Sober as stones. Walking on dirt road connecting construction area to our neighborhood. This road is now an actual street. Because it is connecting a neighborhood being constructed and an existing neighborhood, there are many backyards facing this area. We are focusing on this moving light, wondering what the fuck it actually is. It's literally just a motion light. We both feel stupid. We both continue staring at it while talking and walking. Two tremendous dark figures, about as tall as the house, or taller, rush past it. It looked as if they were floating, no legs to be seen, yet somehow they appeared to be material and not some spoopy ghosts. They completely blocked the light for about 1/10 of a second each, and it was clear that there were two of them. Appeared that they vaulted over the fence about as easily as a human being vaults over a 3.5 feet railing. This is easily a 6-foot wooden fence though. The motion light is connected to near the top of the house, no way it was something smaller than at least the size of the house, yet about as thin as human beings. I say, bro, did you just fucking see that? He mumbles yes. What the fuck? Honestly I don't know, let's just go home. Walk in silence the rest of the way, totally abnormal for us. Years later. Friend's brother is taking a walk in our neighborhood. Walks downhill into a small valley. As you get to the bottom of the hill, there's a lot of bushes on the left. As he's passing the bushes, he feels something rush past him. He hears heavy footsteps, as if something fucking big is running behind him. He obviously spins around to see what it is. There's absolutely nothing to be seen. Again, this is Southern California, there's no woods for something to be hiding in or to disappear into. Just an empty stretch of fields between a bunch of hills. Walks home spooked. Work as a Trd Wrangler in a group home. Work overnights because all the dopes are asleep in their rooms. About 1 a.m., I'm folding laundry. Happen to look into the open doorway of a bedroom, dark in there. See the outline of a person standing there. Hear the shuffle of feet on the floor, the outline approaches the light of the hallway. More food? It's one of the tards we call Dopey Diane. A woman in her 50s, literally 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. Who is violently food obsessed, has permanently maimed other tards and wranglers over food. Slammed the head of a female wrangler into a cupboard so hard the wood shattered and the wrangler was taken out on comp with facial scars, all because the wrangler denied Dopey Diane a second snack, after a first snack and 2 double portion dinners. More food? Diane, get your stupid ass back to bed. I get the stench of raunchy old feces. She steps into the light of the hall and I can see she's bare-ass naked, covered top to bottom in smeared, dried shit. Her hair is matted with dried shit. She is actively pissing on the floor as she's standing there in her doorway. More food? I grab a bath towel and take her by the shoulders and spin her around. Get your stupid ass back to bed. Once facing her room I see she is actively pushing out the thickest, meatiest log I've ever seen. Literally her asshole is stretched to the breaking point, bleeding everywhere. I toss her back in her bedroom and give her her lorazepam so she can go back to sleep in her own filth, which she does. Fucking night shift.
Please leave a like and a comment on this video because it really helps me in the
algorithm.
Here we go. I work in a restaurant that's part of an old village non-profit in the eastern United States. Basically the village was founded in the mid-1700s by a rather odd religious cult. They lived there for a pretty long time and as you would expect there were plenty of deaths. So naturally the restaurant, which is a repurposed common building, formerly housing the infirmary and village offices, is fucking haunted. Be me. My first day on the job back in 2017. Working with my homies so we of course get up to shenanigans. We finish washing all the dishes when my best friend, referred to as M from here on out, decides to ride the dumbwaiter down to the basement. We think fuck it, he's small enough to fit and it can carry some weight. Send our lad down. He gets to the bottom. Start hearing him screaming for us to bring him back up. Hammer the up button. He makes it back up and tells us what happened. For context, the basement is where the bakery and storage is at. The dumbwaiter has a little bitty window that lets you see into it and in our case, out of it. He tells us he saw a man down there dressed like one of the village's guides, period dress, simple farmer garb. Call close. Tells us that he thought one of the guides was just down there to grab a snack from the bakery but the guy turned and had no face. Spook.jpg. We never sent anyone down the dumbwaiter ever again. I've got loads of these stories. I'll keep posting M for as long as the thread is up. The first time I actually saw some spooky shit was about 2 weeks after the dumbwaiter incident. Just as some context, the restaurant was the ground floor. The old village offices and infirmary were on the 2nd and 4th floor respectively. I just so happened to be going to the 4th floor on a dare. We called the 4th floor infirmary the White Room. To this day nobody can give a straight answer on why it's called the White Room, because it certainly isn't white. Spookiest place in the fucking building. Probably because a fuck ton of cultists died there. Wandering around taking pictures because why not? I'll take some tomorrow because this was years ago and I've since got a new phone. So anyway, I'm wandering about snapping photos like a college girl on spring break when the room gets ice cold. My onboard nope-o-meter starts ticking. Get ready to bounce when I see a woman in period clothes standing by the window. My nope-o-meter is going ballistic. My pants are preparing for imminent soiling. Remember the faceless man my friend told me about? Shut my eyes because I don't want to see that shit. Feel a cold wind rush past me. Open my eyes and she's gone. Nope-o-meter stops ticking and I get the fuck out of there. I wish this was the last time I'd see Spoopster, but unfortunately life doesn't work out how you want it to. Poltergeist-style activity happens every once in a while. It's mostly annoying, but it can get outright scary sometimes. A few examples of the kind of shit I deal with. Be washing dishes like a good little wagey. Bowl goes sailing across the room and shatters. That's generally how it goes. But there have been a few times that would just leave me terrified. Once again washing dishes like a good little wagey. Hear drawers start opening. Figure it's just one of the cooks, so I stay in my little dish pit cleaning away. Hear clattering. Turn to ask if I can help M out. Literally a fountain of cutlery. Knives, forks, spoons. God fucking damn it. Fountain of literal actual fucking knives starts spewing out of the other drawer. I bail out. Run downstairs to chef's office. Let her know what just happened and tell her I'm taking the rest of the night off. She gives me the okay to leave and I fuck off. Fuck the kitchen ghost. You're a dick. It's not just the restaurant that's haunted. It's pretty much the whole village, hiking trails and all. There's one of the banquet halls that has an old man that enjoys screwing with guests. There's a little boy that wanders the village and if a man sees him it means his wife is pregnant. Normal spoopy ghost fare. And then there's the dilapidated house in the far back of the village. Fuck this house in particular. Nobody who has worked there for more than a week will go anywhere near that motherfucker, and here's why. All of the buildings in the village are original except for the equipment garage. All of them are well maintained. Except for this house. That's generally the first tip that something isn't fucking right. The non-profit stopped giving a shit about this house back in the 1970s. As far as I know, it's because guests were checking out on their first night staying there pretty consistently, but that's of course all they put on the record. Every house in the village is a hotel suite now, except that one. One day me and the boys decide to check it out. We took our time off and went out on our little adventure. Since we were village employees, nobody would stop us from going anywhere. All access is pretty dope. We get to the house and for some reason nobody ever locked the door. It's dusty as a motherfucker in there and completely devoid of the modern amenities you'd find in all the other houses. That's not too weird considering it had been abandoned in the 70s. We're in the house for about 5 minutes when shit starts getting weird. Heavy footsteps upstairs. We figure it's a hobo or meth head or something, so we hide under the staircase. More footsteps coming down the stairs. All orifices clenched. Footsteps reach the bottom of the stairs and walk past us. There was fucking nobody there. You can see between the cracks in the stairs and nobody was there. We're all freaked out. Decide to be brave little shits and go upstairs. We're about to start exploring when every single door upstairs freaks open. Fuck this shit. We bail out and never go back. Stick to the other buildings for exploring from then on. This one almost drove me to quit. I would have if I didn't need the money and the hours didn't work so well for my school schedule. 2019, Christmas time. One of our busiest times of year. Spoopy activity was at an all-time low, so that was nice. Think I'm gonna get through the week without anything weird happening. The dumbwaiter starts screaming. Wait, what the fuck? The door is open but the dumbwaiter is on the bottom floor. This isn't how it's supposed to work. I'm the only one in the kitchen and the screaming is getting louder. Sounds wheezy as fuck. I hear rhythmic thudding along with the screams. Sounds like someone's climbing up the shaft and screaming. Oh fucking hell no. Bail through the back entrance. Call chef and tell her what's going down. She sounds shaken and tells me she heard the screaming too. Fuck. She calls a fucking Catholic priest to come bless the kitchen. Figure the worst is over. 1 week later, Christmas is Friday, so I won't be working it. Washing dishes when I hear a familiar sound. You've got to be fucking with me. The scream is back. Dumbwaiter door is closed. Figure it's just going to stop. Hear the dumbwaiter door start straining. Fingers are in the fucking crack. Nope-o-meter kicks it into overdrive. Fight or flight going absolutely mental. Sprint out the door again, call chef. Call chef and tell her I can't keep doing this if the fucking dumbwaiter demon is gonna keep trying to eat me while I work. She tells me to take the rest of the week off and she'll get it sorted. Come back and it hasn't happened since. I'm still paranoid about that fucking dumbwaiter. Christmas was Wednesday in 2019, not Friday. Sorry guys, got my days fucked up. But that's probably the worst it ever got. I still work in the kitchen and I'm getting closer to my archaeology degree so I can start working for the university. Weird shit still goes down there though for sure. Got a few more stories. Enjoying my lunch break. Best benefit to working there is the food. I get free lunches cooked to customer specifications. Shit's amazing. Sitting on the back staircase because it's nice and shady. Hear scratching on the window. Think it's someone fucking with me. Nobody there, but there are 4 distinct scratch marks on the window. Decide to eat out in my car. Employees get 1 free night's stay at the hotel every year. Naturally, I'll take advantage of this when I feel like I need some time away from my dorm and my studies. Chilling in the hotel room. Got some room service and I'm watching TV. Pasta Alfredo is the bomb. Halfway through an episode of Bizarre Foods, the power cuts. Ah fuck, here we go. Door starts rattling. No sir, I did not sign up for this. Politely ask whatever is rattling my door to leave me in peace. Power comes back on and the rattling stops. Eat my food and finish my show. Sometimes they ain't that bad. Last story before I get some sleep. Have class at 10 and work at 4, so I shouldn't skip sleeping. Be about 3 weeks ago, give or take. Teaching new dishwasher how to not fuck shit up. Basically the guru at this point. I'm head dishwasher and people treat me like chef. In the middle of showing this kid the ins and outs when we hear slapping footsteps go running through the kitchen. Basically as jaded as it gets after the whole screaming thing in the dumbwaiter shaft incident. New kid looks like he's gonna shit himself. Tell him that stuff is normal and to get used to it. As a safety precaution, tell him to talk to chef if anything really weird happens. Not even 2 hours later. Chef calls me and kid is practically catatonic in her office. Chef tells me the story. He was washing dishes like he should be. Hears the whirring sound of the dumbwaiter. Goes to open it up. Nothing inside. Weird. Goes back to washing dishes. Plate goes flying across room at Mach 5. Kid hauls ass down to chef's office to tell her the story. He didn't last too long. Normally new hires just ignore the weird shit, but he just couldn't. I feel really bad for him, but I did tell him that weird shit is the norm here. It's a small field, but not many people know how haunted most libraries are. Be me. Worked my way up to library manager. Managed 3 libraries thus far. Board of supervisors, district manager, etc. always tell you what's up with your branch shortly after taking the job. Current branch is pretty fucked. Female employees, 90% of the workforce in the field, at my library suffer the most. Angry noises affect one employee. Accuses her teammates of pranks. Stomping around, door slamming, men shouting, etc. while in the back room. Another female employee has been locked inside the bathroom with the lights thrown off. Sink turned on when she was in there. Heard her cry for help, as staff bathroom on other side of manager's office. Door was locked and required my master key, the only key that can lock that door from outside. Obviously, I was not responsible and would never do this. Public restrooms are a no-go for my female employees. They are opened and closed by me, and me alone. Stalls will slam in sequence, lights will go on and off, diaper stations spontaneous fall open. Most libraries keep a second incident report log. This is usually very private and quiet. We know these as unexplained phenomena logs. We are usually county and local government, so staff safety still needs to be ensured. I've had to close the branch one day. County maintenance guy and myself fabricated that the power was lost to the facility. Not true. We flipped the breakers as proof for when my opener arrived. Truth is, it was a mess inside the building. Books were literally everywhere, as if someone with a grudge had broken in workstations and service counter, a mess of unloaded staplers, pencils broken into dozens of pieces, and our copier bulb was burnt out after running all night. Pages photocopied were of the ceiling above the copier. More? More it is, then. This last winter, 2020. Board of Supervisors decided that operational hours needed to be extended, to make up for the doors being closed during the Great Coughing. Genius decided that the branch will be open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Yes, that way we can serve the exactly 0 people wanting books at night, in the snow and cold. No female employee closes during the winter nights anymore. Our hours have changed to 6 p.m. extended hours. This is that reason why. Week 5 of stupid late night hours. I'm closing with, let's call her, Janet. Janet is a really cool employee. Never says no, a great self-starter, and is fun to work with. She's had her own encounters. She's the employee who faces the phantom harassments. Approximately around 7:50 p.m., a snowstorm hits the area. I offer her the ride home as to not endanger her elderly mother, as Janet does not drive. Shortly after hearing the winds and snowfall, a cacophony of noise erupts from the lobby. Slamming, banging, glass shattering, and a deep booming. Janet and I cease our chatting, and I get up to investigate the cause. At the glass doors to the lobby, nothing is of note. The front doors are closed, light is on. I enter the lobby. I've taken about 4 steps from the glass doors to the closed front doors, as the glass doors slam behind me. I turn, expecting to see Janet. She's not there. Turning back towards the front doors, the right wall with our public bulletin board begins dropping flyers one by one. The tacks remain in place. I stare dumbfounded as the bulletin board sheds itself nude. In this lobby, there are 2 doors to the left that are the entrance to our public meeting room. The meeting room doors slammed on their locks, rhythmically. Pound pause, pound pause, pound pause. I jolted at this, but stared in shock as the blackness in the room is all that could be seen through the door windows. The light in the lobby started to flicker out of sync with the pounding. At this point, I'm finished with this. I've heard things and have seen things, but this is my first truly wholly unexplained experience in this branch. I make a deliberate walk to the doors leading into the library, and walk back inside. Janet is not at the customer service desk. I was unnerved by the experience from the lobby, but something about the familiarity of the library interior made her not at the desk okay. She was more than likely just shelving. Sure enough, I hear the squeaking of a book truck. After a single use, they all begin to squeak. I step into my office to check my emails once more, and finish a flyer for a children's program we were planning for the holidays. As I type, I hear squeaking of the truck, then a pause. I'm thinking that indeed, Janet is shelving in the stack somewhere. After about 10 minutes of my working, and the sounds of the book truck stopping and beginning, I decide to go back to the main library and see if Janet needs assistance in finishing. The book truck is right in front of my open office door, completely void of any library materials. Placed directly in front of the open space, so that I must move it to venture forward. I move the card, and briskly make a tour through the library. I went through every shelf bay, and checked our teen room. I hadn't heard Janet walk by with the book truck, nor had I heard her out on the floor. In a panic, I head for the staff break room. A sinking feeling washed over me, that potentially the noises in the lobby were a distraction from some sort of bad guys who've entered the library through other means. The staff break room lights are off. I turn them on. The small room is empty. I check the back door staff entrance, it's locked. I think of the staff bathroom. I try the handle, and it's locked. I knocked. Nothing. I knock harder, saying Janet's name. Nothing. I take the master key, and unlock the door. Janet is on the floor of the bathroom, crying her eyes out. Mascara all over her face. She looks up wide-eyed, and grabs me around the waist, absolutely delirious, saying my name and how she was trapped. I bent down to comfort her, asking what the fuck happened. I help her up, and we sit at the lunch table. She's shaking as I bring her a box of tissues. When I had gone out to source the noise, she had waited more than 15 minutes for me to return. I stated that this wasn't possible, but she cut me off. She had gotten up to use the bathroom. She did her business, washed her hands, but the towel dispenser didn't work. She tried a few more times, but decided to exit the bathroom and use the towels in the kitchenette. The door wouldn't budge. She tried over and over, but the door was locked. She began pounding the door, and yelling my name. Frantic now, she became more and more terrified of her situation. That was when the lights went out on her. She felt around quickly for the switch, but no matter how many times it went up and down, the lights would not come back on. The sound of footsteps echoed on the tile floors. She said it sounded like 3 people were in there with her. This is when she began to cry. She was just waiting for the moment something, or someone, would shove her, push her, or run into her. She curled up in a corner trying to make herself as small as possible. She covered her head, but after just a moment, the footsteps stopped. The sink came to life. Gushing water, then it turned off. Gushing water, then off again. On the 3rd time, it began to just drip. Each drop becoming louder than the last, until, as she stated, the sound began to hurt her ears. It was then I arrived. When the lock turned over from my key, the lights came back on. I profusely apologized to Janet. However, I had been on the opposite side of the wall and heard nothing. I swore if I would have heard her, I would have been there in seconds. Janet wasn't okay. Of all the instances of these experiences, this had been the worst. She refused to be left alone, and the 2 of us traveled around the building and stayed close. I believed her story, but the time issue was nagging at me. Currently, the time was now 8:20. I had checked my PC clock at my workstation when I returned from the lobby and floor, but my time added up. Something about this was odd and terrifying. With only 40 minutes left of being open, we remained at the service counter watching videos to calm Janet down. Though frightened myself at what she told me, I needed to remain calm and in control for her sake. What happened next still gives me the chills. The ceiling of the library is an enormous labyrinth of beams and crossbars, like a cathedral vaulted ceiling. The beams begin to creak and moan, as if a great weight had been placed upon them. "Oh shit, must be the snow," I stated. As I finished the last syllable of snow, I was struck on top of my head. A DVD case had fallen from the beams. I looked up, nothing there. Janet begins shuddering and sobbing. The creaking and moaning becomes slower, louder. I rose from my seat and beckoned her towards me. The DVD and Blu-ray stacks started to shed materials from them. In 1s, 2s and 3s, DVD and Blu-rays fall from the shelves. "We're done. We're leaving." Quickly, we headed for the back room and grabbed our coats. Making it to my vehicle, I started the engine and drove to the entrance. I locked the doors, and we left for the night. I recorded the incident, and informed the county library manager of what had transpired. The building was a mess in the morning. In addition to the visual media, the children's picture books, non-fic, and half the adult fic were completely removed from their shelving. I contacted Janet. Asked how she was doing. She was thinking of quitting. She had never felt so helpless, powerless, and worst of all, afraid. To be honest, I begged her to stay. She's a fantastic employee, and she still works for me. However, female employees do not close, or stay after dark. We do not have a lock on the bathrooms now. A sign that says, "Occupied and Vacant" is on the outside of the door, and needs to be flipped. Obviously, employees must additionally knock. Closing shifts are for male employees only. For some reason, our unexplained phenomena are limited to slamming doors and flickering lights. I have more stories if Anons are interested. From this library, and others. So why do you think this is happening? What causes libraries to be spook hotspots? Why isn't this a well-known, investigated phenomena? I couldn't say. My guess would be, potentially gathering so much information, so many stories in one place, becomes some sort of magnet or beacon for the unexplained. Like I said, maybe not well known to the public, but certainly well known in the field. For instance, no one doubted Janet or my report that went into the logbook. District manager and board of supervisors were very apologetic, as was I. Library man back with another short story. These goat totems, pick-related, were found by the hundreds over the course of weeks throughout the library. We'd find them high up above the shelf bays, hidden behind books, squeezed in between shelving units, under the children's globe, etc. Orchestrated a hunting party each morning to locate as many as possible. In one day, my team employees came with a small tub filled with maybe 80 of the cursed things. Team beginning to worry, as this is unusual and disturbing. Just more nonsense we go out of our way to ignore. We set a watch and patrol during operational hours. Keep an eye out for anyone tall to reach high. Look for someone bending down, reaching up, moving slowly through the shelf bays. We do this every 10 minutes for weeks. Still, every morning, we find these stupid things. This continues for an exact month. We never identified anyone, especially someone frequent, who could be considered a culprit. I present to the district manager a copy paper box filled with the hundreds of the goat totems. We dispose of these. With the building being strange, let's assume the insidious. One day, they just stop. We found them all, and disposed of them. Being librarians, we're good at getting information. These goat totems are from a German beer. They should have a little red text saying on the bottom, "Celebration." Each and every totem had this scraped off. Where would someone in this rural town be importing German beer in such vast amounts, in a dry county, in a state where it is illegal to ship alcohol? Additionally, these were never placed during the day as for a monitored fact. We'd find them in the morning. Pick attached is the sole surviving piece of evidence of this event. Attached are the beams and rafters. This is where the public restrooms are located. The light flickered upon taking this photo this morning. As previously stated, female employees do not pass this point and either lock or unlock these bathrooms. Library man. New story. This is about my visit to the most extreme rural branch, located in a once beautiful mountainous part of the state. However, an enormous wildfire ruined the area about a decade ago. Most of what was captivating has not grown back, and many of the summer cabinets have never returned because of the state of the place. This branch serves less than 75 people, and is 54 miles from the nearest town. Being young, lucky at times, but busting my ass and paying attention, I became the youngest library manager in my state, with only 4 years experience and a bachelor's degree. I had some great bosses, who showed me how a great library looks, runs, programs, and staffs. District manager is impressed with my 4 months at my current branch. Begs me to do the same at this far-off rural branch the best I can, in 3 days' time. This rural branch is staffed almost entirely by a single volunteer, who is over 80. It is, however, funded and paid for by the county, as dictated by the Board of Supervisors. I agree to do my best. I'm always thirsty for the next thing to flex on my resume. I do, however, request to take on additional employee with me. It'll be hard work, and the extra hands will be needed. I take my most loyal, reliable, trusted employee. Let's call him DK. DK is a turbo autist. He's also 6'8". He will talk for hours about World of Warcraft, a game that ceased being relevant a decade ago, and a game no one has played in that time as well. I affectionately refer to his position as being Chief of Security at my branch. He never says no, craves my approval, but he's a hard worker. We arrive day 1. 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., overtime, so I'm excited to be here to say the least. We reorganize the collection. Clean each filthy item with wipes. Make room for adult programming. Throw out an entire backroom worth of useless trash. However, this remote branch is quite creepy, even during the day. It was built entirely upon community donations, and looks like it. Aluminum sliding exterior, small square almost bathroom windows, 9 feet of the ground, and only 6 of them. The entire facility is no larger than most American living rooms. No restrooms. Outside, the forest fire was stopped about 20 feet before it could consume the library. It sits deep in the narrow valley, and about 1.5 miles away from the main lodge that used to attract tourists. It is pretty much the end of the line. No cabin survived the blaze past the library, which used to be in what could be called the center of this tiny town. DK was eager to drive and show off his skills. To complete his turbo autist life, his mother purchased him a Jeep Commander, complete with what must be a 20 lift, enough lights to see from orbit, and a powered winch which I assumed was for his inevitable tumble off a cliff. This vehicle would be our transport, and if I can sit back and relax and have dinner, I don't mind being chauffeured around the county. Night 2 comes and goes. However, we end up finding that a shelving unit is absolutely molded and needs to be trashed. DK power. I open the doors onto the night, and with DK hauling this massive thing with ease, help him load it into the Jeep Commander. There's something a little morose about an area ravaged by fire. There are no insects, no birds, no bats, and no deer. Once upon a time, deer would graze in the nearby meadow and create a serene, picturesque setting. Now, it felt like we were on some sort of gray moon, complete with Halloween spooky trees. As we slam the hatch closed, we start crunchy the gravel back towards the building. However, another noise, in this absolutely silent area, makes us turn instantly. Deep in the burned and blackened stick forest to the right, we hear a long, sad cry. It started soft, but ended with a yelp. DK and I continue to look in the direction of the noise, expecting it to continue, or at least start again. Nothing happens. Well, that sounded how I feel. Let's leave, it's late. I say to DK. DK agrees, but starts to ramble and rant about a video game. He often does this when he is nervous. Honestly, I thought that sound could have been anything, and it didn't matter. My own library has its own strangeness, and at this point, I had become desensitized to just about anything. We have our dark drive in peace, and after a while, I've stopped hearing about the new expansion to the video game and how bad it apparently is. Night 3. This is a small county, there are no local law enforcement agencies. The sheriff's department services this huge area, and there are only 6 deputies. Luckily, one deputy, let's call him Alex, hangs out in this small town at night. Deputy Alex flirts with an underage girl, whose parents own the lodge. I will say, it is consensual. However, he learned that I knew. We had an agreement, I say nothing, look the other way, and in exchange, Alex doesn't notice my Volkswagen speeding by daily going 85 to 90, in a 55 highway, on my hour commute. DK and I hit the McDonald's on the highway for dinner before we cruise to the library. As we drive the winding road, sure enough, Alex's sheriff's department SUV is parked out front of the lodge. We pull in front of the library, and finalize the job. I set about finishing their brochures, flyers, and website. DK is now doing some deep cleaning. Halfway through the night, we hear a scraping noise. I jolt up from my daze, and DK looks over quickly to the source. The aluminum sliding on the wall next to me sounds as if something large is dragging itself against it. The sound continues, until it slows, diminishes, and suddenly dissipates. Exactly like something was rubbing against it. Huh. Sounds like a deer or something needed a butt scratcher. DK said with a chuckle. I laugh as well, until we hear the same thing against the wall behind me, same pattern, same gait of stride, faster this time. Then the wall over by DK. Huh, I say. DK grabs a stool, and attempts to peer out one of the tiny, small and high up windows. The front door creaks from weight. The front door. The only way in and out of the shack. The front door, that is not locked. Instantly, I leap from my chair and dive for the door. I throw the lock on the handle. I back up, expecting the door to start pounding in, and the handle to be tried. Nothing. DK climbs down from the stool. Hey Anon, I didn't see anything, man. Do you think someone is trying to get in? Like, a patron sees out lights and thinks we're open? Maybe. I replied. This entire county is crawling with weirdos. Let's call Alex. I trailed off, interrupted by the scraping against the first wall where the noise first came from. It was faster this time. It cleared the first wall, followed by the second, in sequence. Alright, fuck this, I exclaimed. I'm going to call Alex. See if you can see whoever the fuck it is out that window. DK begins. Please, no man. Just get up there and take a peek. I said. 911 dialed. Blank blank County Sheriff Department, Deputy Alex speaking. What is your emergency? Alex, I say between the scraping noise, speaking loudly now to hear myself over the harsh metallic shrieks. Anon here with the blank blank County Library District. Hey, we're over here at blank Public Library. Do you hear this? Something is outside and scraping against the sliding. It's been messing with us for a few minutes now. We got the door locked. Can you please get over here and take a look? Though a creep, I appreciated his response and professionalism. Hang tight. I'll be there in 2 minutes. Don't go near the door. I'll have my lights on. We hung up. DK, see anything? No response from my chief of security. He just stared out the window. DK, do you see anything? Oh, yeah, like if this is like a super tall black thing that kinda looks like the trees. Then I saw the top of something's head go by a second ago, DK moans out. My palms are sweating at this point. What the fuck? Alex will be here in like a second. I'm sure he'll see it and give it the business. The sounds stop. Faintly, we hear a siren. Red and blue lights begin to illuminate through the windows. Car door slams. Crunching gravel. Flashlight beam mixes with the red and blue. Door pounds 3 times with a knock. Anon? Deputy Alex here. You in there? Yeah, we're in here. Want me to open up? I shout. A small pause. Yeah. We're clear out here. But what's happened here? DK and I exit the library. Outside, we see what he's seeing. The aluminum is scrapped as if it was metal on metal. Deep, light, and medium gouges reflect in the flashlight. I look down. Tracks, circling the small building, are in a line. Alex looks down and shines the light. 3 toe tracks, almost like a bird, are visible. What the fuck? Alex asks us what we're doing, we explain. Asks us if we'd seen anyone, seen anything strange, or heard anything. No, and no. Goes to his SUV. Takes his report log, starts filling it out. Asks for my ID. The squad SUV is parked 6 feet from the building. DK's Jeep Commander is parked to the right, closer to the burned woods, about 30 feet away. As DK and I keep looking around, and Alex is making his report, we all hear it. Very close, very loud. If you've ever seen the movie, the CGI Beowulf film with the sexy golden dragon lady, you might remember the Grendel character, and the sound he made when he heard loud noises. Like this irritated whining noise. We hear something similar to that. It is accompanied by exasperated breaths and wheezing. It's coming from over by the Jeep Commander. Alex unholsters his weapon, dropping his log papers. You there? Hands up where I can see them, Alex commands. In the chill of the night, steam is rising from under the Jeep. Something is breathing heavily under it. Gravel is swirling, and with the flashlight, a shadow can be seen under it. Sheriff's Department. Hands out slowly. Let me see your hands. Show me your hands now. He commands again. The gravel stops swirling. The steam sighs out from under the vehicle. Alex approaches, but only slowly. DK's Jeep Commander begins to slide to the left. A slow, dragging slide as the vehicle was slightly lifted as well. The breathing and steam was chugging like a steam locomotive. The car alarm is now wailing. Here's this huge vehicle, being lifted and dragged from underneath, moving slowly towards the tree line. Alex was stunned at this point. Weapon still pointed and drawn, he watched intently with the two of us. After a few seconds, he discharges his weapon into the dirt below the Jeep Commander. The vehicle drops, and ceases to move. A gangly arm grabs the step platform on the driver's side of the Jeep Commander. To me, it looked like a burnt tree. blackened with an alligator pattern, and have 3 fingers. The hand retreated as suddenly as it appeared. The vehicle tidled towards us and lifted, as a tall shadow appeared on the other side of the vehicle. Again, just like DK described, like the top of a tree, only blackened. It sprinted towards the black trees. Police lights turning and flashing red and blue, car alarm still blaring, pistol muzzle smoking, we all stood there in shock. What happened next was your standard, what the fuck, what was that, did you see that, etc. etc. The report was filed, and DK and I gave our testaments. It was not made public. District manager was informed. I was questioned as well, and DK and I were told to never speak about this unless asked by a sheriff, or the district manager. Sliding was sanded down to hide the scratches. Within 2 months, the county announced we would no longer be financially supporting this branch. It would not longer be a part of the county. This was probably the only physical sighting, direct incident with the unexplained I've ever had. If I had to guess, based off of other testimonies here on /X, I think the thing was some sort of tree creature that got caught up in the blaze. I think it lived in constant pain. I think our lights at the library caught its attention, but ultimately, I think it was afraid of us. Maybe it wasn't before Deputy Alex arrived, but it tried to hide, and then escaped. Never heard anything about it or like it ever since.